The lighting is a little off, but we'll deal with it. Hopefully you guys can hear me there. Let's get the script up and let's light this candle, right? Put the script there, here, and should be good to go. Although for some reason this doesn't want to move over. Live stuff, always hard to get everything perfect when you're by yourself. But hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're able to consume this show. Welcome to Divided America. I'm your host, George Siska. It's official. I can report it today. We're divided. I report that we're divided because of the wonderful conversations that I had with some MAGA folks this weekend. I play poker every month with a bunch of folks. At least 40% of them are MAGA, I would say. And what I have to say is the whataboutism is real. And what I mean by that, my God, like no matter what evidence you bring up, it's always, but what about Clinton? We were talking about the president and the Epstein files and ICE and all the bad crap that's happening in this country, and it doesn't matter. You bring up a fact and then they just bring up something, but what about this? Or but what about when Obama did it? And it's just it's painful, right? It's painful. How can you argue with these folks? Because you can't. Facts do not matter. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm obsessed with the Hulu series, Wu-Tang Clan. It's great. It shows how Park Hill and Stonehill come together. We're going to talk about Wu later. I'm going to defend the Providence mayor, Brett Smiley, a little bit later. I think that he's being unfairly judged on his snow removal. This is a big week for us, though. It's been a very big week. We watched the Grammys. Our boy is playing this weekend, the Bad Bunny Bowl. Plus, there's going to be football with that. The big game this weekend, right? But it's a total normal morning. This Tuesday, February 3rd. The president is calling for one political party to take over elections, directly contradicting the Constitution. As I always say, if you don't believe me, read the reporting from this one, the New York Times. But we have to start the show, with the concept of gatekeeping and how is keeping talent out of the work pool while preserving some of the worst workers in society employed because they're good at playing the game. And now we all know these workers, right? The workers, when you go to them, you say, okay, here's all my paperwork. And they say, well, you're missing X, so we have to deny your claim and come back in 6 months, right? That's gatekeeping. That's just, it's frustrating to no end, right? There's medical gatekeeping with doctors. You have to go to your primary care doctor to see a specialist, right? You just have to see someone that barely knows you. You have to tell them that something's wrong to see a better doctor, right? Primary care doctors are, oh man, we have a story for you guys eventually on the VA. I've been working on a story with the VA and the primary care there. It's not great. And if we want universal health care, this is all part of the gatekeeping, right? Now, gatekeeping teachers teach, and then they do the opposite, right? During my feature writing, I had a few courses. During my feature writing course this past summer, we read numerous feature articles in first person, right? But we were docked a full letter grade if we slipped into first person in our official papers that we handed in to get graded. But what about introductory writing pieces, What about you're just saying hello to your teacher for your first time, right? First person writing is only okay for the professionals. Now, why do I quote professionals? I thought I was doing my grad school at one of the most prestigious schools in America. Is obtuse thought process a standard? This was our first writing assignment for our class, but not my first writing assignment for Harvard. And my other professors did not take such academic offense to my style of writing. I learned from my teachers. I had good professors in URI, CCRI, and at Harvard. Great teachers. I learned from them. Throughout the semester, they actually taught me something. I scored A's and B's throughout the classes. It wasn't perfect, but I worked and improved. They're intense master's courses, feature writing and news writing. Took it at the same time, right? And the Harvard Extension School won't accept people into the journalism program until they pass certain gates, gatekeeping. And one of these gates is an hour-long writing test. Is a critical factor in acceptance. You have to read something and digest it and write well on it quickly. So that test is what you're judged on. You're not judged on the semester's worth of good hard journalism, good hard writing, not developing leads and sources, which is critical for journalism. All the things I've done since the start of this master's journey last summer. And now, unfortunately, I'm being held back by someone that doesn't know me, Dr. You. And you prejudge me on a sample of writing that I had 50 minutes to write. The worst part about it is I would have accepted criticism without your myopic thinking of this. I'm going to quote you what he wrote me. This is ridiculous. Let's go Jets. All right, Jim Brown. My cousin. This is what he wrote. Your approach also came with an opportunity cost. You missed Jacob's dire circumstances. Now, for context, we had to read two Civil War essays from Frederick Douglass and I think some from Jacobs. I just can't remember Jacobs' first name right now. Frederick Douglass is very well known in the political science spectrum. An escaped slave in hiding and separated from her own children, she was living in terror and in secret hiding. She was acutely aware that constables, such as the one she describes, whipped slaves for small infractions. You might have also conveyed Douglas, like you'd think I couldn't convey this? Yeah, I might not have conveyed it in 45 minutes, 50 minutes that we had to write it. Like maybe the 15 other people in our class did that much better. I would love to see their samples of writing. I asked them on WhatsApp, if you guys are watching this or end up watching this, I'd love to see your samples because I dropped the course. I got my money back. Like it's the first teacher I've seen, first professor at Harvard that introduced himself by saying, you can get a refund if you drop by this date. So that threw up my senses immediately. Then he also says, alas, I think you're going to have considerable difficulty with E42B and run the risk of receiving a low or failing grade. Both of which allow you to work a little bit more crap there. And then to work on reading comprehension and familiarity with analytical writing. You don't know me, dude. You don't know me, Dr. You. Okay? Like, I wasn't confused. I'm not going to read the entirety of your dense, ridiculous letter that if you didn't use a thesaurus, congratulations. Your verbose language proficiency is just amazing, right? I'm sorry that I wasn't able to, in 45 minutes, show my education or my analytical skills in writing, but I wasn't confused with anything. And when you say about dropping first person, I was talking directly to you. I broke the fourth wall. This is not the first time I've did this in writing, but you took somewhat offense to it, which is, I mean, you want to talk about being a snowflake. I mean, come on. You take offense. The fact that you thought I missed anything on their dire circumstances as slaves. Okay, I understand that you wrote the book on slaves, literally. Okay, I understand. I've done my share of reading. I've done my share of writing. I've done my share of watching. Okay, my concern is not critical feedback delivered under time constraints. It's the conclusion that you drew from it. Evaluating a student's moral or historical beliefs based on approximately 50 minutes of writing responding to unfamiliar material is not a valid measure of comprehension, ethics, or intent. Specifically, the inference that my response reflected a belief that enslaved peoples did not struggle is inaccurate and unsupported by my text. That conclusion represents a prejudgment rather than an exercise in metacognition or close reading. If the goal of your course is interdisciplinary analysis, then it requires engaging with how different forms of experience shape interpretation. That engagement did not occur. Instead, a narrow interpretive assumption was applied and treated as dispositive. This approach functions as gatekeeping rather than instruction. It discourages intellectual risk and forecloses discussion rather than advancing critical thinking. I entered this course prepared to contribute seriously, including from professional and God, I'm mad. Like, if you can't tell, I'm mad. Like, I really wanted to take this course. I really want to get my journalism master's degree. And it's just, this is what you get when you have time to write, right? This is the kind of response that you're going to get. So that for these reasons, I withdrew. The decision reflects a lack of confidence in the pedagogical process, not a personal animus. I don't appreciate your time, and I don't wish you well. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I am. But most, if not all, good writers have to edit themselves. It takes time after reading and rereading their work. I know that we, in our other Harvard courses, had workshops in editing and rereading our stuff. Your class, thanks for the 50 minutes. The wasted, well, whatever it was, 50 minutes of your verbal diarrhea. I could take the class with a different professor. Now, what do? Right? To get into this required course of pro seminar, intro to journalism, I have to get into intro to journalism for masters. To get into this, I have to either pass that essay exam or take this course with another professor, and it has absolutely nothing to do with journalism. There were at least 3 to 4. I think there were four, maybe 5 journalists in the course that are taking this social science course from Professor Yu. That you can even tell he was like, oh, you guys are here for journalism. It doesn't work. I don't need the degree. I would love it. But the way the GI Bill works, I don't receive funds if I don't go to school. So the gatekeeping from you and the school, it's frustrating to no end. When we come back, we're gonna talk about this great. We're gonna liven it up a bit. We'll talk good stuff, happy stuff. If you're fans, and if you're not fans, you really should listen to Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to with, and they have a series. The RZA produced a series that's on Hulu. It's about how they created the group, and to me, it's amazing. We're gonna take a super quick break. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the Wu. We are back. Thank you for sticking with us. No, I had to write this down while watching this great series on Hulu. It's about the Wu Tang Clan. It's produced by the main person that produced their music, the RZA, Bobby. And I wrote this. I Writing it down is a theme in the show. So like when I am driving around, when I'm just doing anything, and I think of something for the show, when I think of something for my website, for writing, for anything for journalism, I always just have to write it down. It could happen at midnight. It could happen at 2 in the morning, and watching them whenever they get a good verse, or when they were just hanging out and having a cipher, and then they were like, oh man, that was good, you should write that down. And then watching them produce some of the music in the studio, and what they were reading, like old. I don't want to spoil too much of the series, because if you are gonna watch it, it's really good. But there's just like little things that you see, like Old Dirty Bastard holding like it was a cereal box that he wrote the lyrics on, and he's just going off on in the studio for that. And this it's so they show that that's one of the themes. And then the another theme of the show is you slowly figure out, oh, that's Ghostface. Oh, wait a second, I know that's meth. It sounds like meth. But Ghostface was kind of like a spoiler section. Okay, we're gonna quick little spoiler. All right, if you don't want to know this part, please just skip ahead. But quick little spoiler for the first season. I'm not on season 3 yet, but the first season, there's this guy named D-Rock. He's friends with Bobby, and the whole first season they call him D-Rock and then at the end of the end of the first season, the RZA Bobby's like, man, I need you. I need to hear you. I need you to be here to rap to the song. Then you hear him go, and it's like, oh my God, that was Ghostface the whole time. Like I didn't know. Like I mean, I don't know their background, and the show is a very entertaining way of showing how bringing these people together. And now the main point of this is divided America. We talk about how we're divided, how we can still be friends with people even though we all have crazy different we all think differently. This show brought the RZA in general brought two neighboring gangs. He brought together the Park Hill, the Killer Hill gang, and the Stonehill gang, and they were doing what they needed to do to survive. No judgment there whatsoever. And then they found out that they could make more money by rapping, and it was just the transformation watching all of them. The Chef, the Ghostface, You God, the Jizza, like it's amazing. And I'm telling you. And then the ending of the first season, just it really almost got me. Like I haven't cried in the show in a while, and this show really almost got me there at the end. I highly suggest watching it. This is not a promotion. I do not have sponsors yet, but I just watch. If you enjoy rap music, if you enjoy shows, if you enjoy Wu-Tang, I highly suggest it. I will not spoil any more of it. And I'm pretty excited to watch the second season. Like I said earlier in this month, we have the Super Bowl this weekend. We are going to be covering that. We're going to try to do it live. I'm not sure how, or because legal parameters really kind of stop you from doing things, but we're going to figure it out. We have a story about the VA coming out. I have a video of a primary care appointment that is kind of disturbing. We're still working on the Second Amendment stuff. If you've been following along, please. And last, and please but not least, please follow. I can't ask this one enough. Follow, subscribe. The engagement helps, but the follows and the subscriptions help more than anything, because that will allow me to go places, that will allow me to report in places like Minnesota, for example. Like if you guys want to see me in Minnesota reporting live from I guess you can call it the front line right now. Follow, like, subscribe. The more follows, likes, subscribes I get, the more I'm able to do things, the more I'm able to, because I'm not pulling any monetary funds out of this yet. That being said, I did find a loophole through the military, and that I worked on yesterday, and it was approved. So now I'm going to be trying to travel on the cheap. So you will hopefully see me live from, well, you don't want to see me from the next horrible event, but you, unfortunately, it's going to happen. This is America. Childish Gambino, great song. This is America. Check that song out. I'll leave it with that. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Have a great morning wherever you're at. Thank you for joining us this morning. This was Divided America. I'm George Siska, your host. Take care.